is it a thing that we're just getting older? We might just be being biased here.
Because the South might be what 90s hip hop was to us. The South might be to, you know what I mean, to that generation.
Yeah.
That might be their 90s hip hop.
But what part of hip hop says, right, yeah, that most of your tunes sound like an R&B tune, right? And you know, like your hooks, you got people just singing all over it all the time. What part of hip hop to me is that? I don't know, bro. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't really add up to me.
Still point, still.
To me, you might as well just get Mary J to like sing your whole tune. You know what I mean?
I know, standards, innit?
Standards.
Back in the day, if you was whack, if you was dead, you just never sold. Flow Rider's dead, but selling.
Do you know what? Me and Tess had this conversation.
No originality in the game whatsoever. Because the thing that was when you was talking, you was hitting points, spot on. And what was coming in my head was like, when I was listening to hip hop, everybody's just so original. De La Soul come out with them messed up tunes. Nobody ran out and got them. People just admired. EPMD, fisherman hats. Everybody didn't run out start getting fisherman hats, did they? Thought, you know what, I'm gonna flip it. Wu-Tang come out. The monikers would have come through. Nobody ran and copied them. Thought, you know what, let me do my shit and flip it. Everybody took inspiration for what everybody else was doing and thought, you know what, I ain't gonna do the same. I'm gonna do me. And nobody does that now. It's like
their own characters and such.
Yeah, everything their own characteristics. Now, people come out and they'll say, I'm gonna flow like A, B, C, and 1, 2, 3, and sell 1 million. So I'm gonna go to the studio. You know what? I'm rapping exactly the same because I want the same dough, and they'll do it. No good point. Creativity whatsoever.
But it's because it's a business.
It's a business.
Yeah. It's not. People don't.
It's not
rap for the love anymore, for the art. It's just a business.
People selling being creative back in the day though as well.
So what do you reckon it's the record companies that have destroyed hip hop then? If that's the case itself.
Yeah.
But they give
it's money.
They
That's
give
really what it is. It just comes down to money. There's a lot of money being made. It needs to be controlled. If it's being controlled, then obviously, you know, certain things aren't going to happen. You know what I mean? If you've got a product that's working, then you stick with that product. You know, you might add bits onto it and all the rest of it, but you don't go and say, well, you know, this is working well, we're making lots and lots of money, but you know, it's not really creative enough for us. It's not artistic enough. It's not what real hip hop's about. They don't give a shit, and why should they if they're a business? You get me? But for me, in the street, like, don't expect me to take my £15 and go to H&M. You know what I mean? And purchase your shit. Like, I'll download that regardless anyway. Yeah, and really and truly, I'll just look for the things that I want, that I probably wouldn't find at H&V anyway. So, you know what I mean? Enough respect to them. Obviously, you know, they've got to feed their kids and that. Go ahead. But don't sit there and try and tell me that, you know, this is like, you know, real shit. You know what I mean?
But it's because the record companies control the actual industry. So for an artist to get in, they have to go through the company.
They have to conform, definitely.
So therefore, they can't even make what they want to make. If I want to be, if I want to rap, if I want to be an artist here, yeah, and I want to talk about positive things, yeah, and not have any swearing in my tunes, and not have the N-word in my tunes, and not downgrade any women or talk about popping champagne or whatever. I am not going to make any money or get in the industry.
Exactly.
Or even get noticed. Yeah? I don't see any positive artists in this country. There's very few, and the ones that are there, you never notice them. Like there's a guy, Aaron Breakbeat. You know heard of him? Never heard of him. Yeah, this guy raps and plays drums. Yeah, UK artists. Yeah,
that's different. That is different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it hip hop's job to be positive?
I don't think it is.
Think back.
Hip hop was never about.
I mean, I'm not saying it all should be just positive, but I'm saying there isn't.
It should be at least entertaining.
There's no, yeah, but there's no. It's like if you look at, really, it's just one way now, isn't it?
Everyone talks about selling drugs, shooting people.
Yeah. Or people just used to rap about what they used to experience or what they were going through in their life, innit? So you don't really get that now.
Did anyone here learn about Malcolm X in school?
No, not in school.
Right. Where did you first hear about Malcolm X? Everyone.
Public Enemy.
Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Public Enemy.
Yeah.
That's the hip hop I grew up on.
Yeah.
No one heard about him in school. They just taught you debate. I don't want to mention it. I'm giving it no airtime. We all know what they taught us. And they tried to make us think.
Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Not taught about.
First time I heard about Malcolm X, was Chuck D.
See.
I'm like, it's Malcolm. Got the book. I was.
So basically, you're saying it's like more positive, more educating, and whatever not in the tunes.
Had a lot more substance.
Yeah, definitely.
Than it does now.
And Public Enemy sold millions.
Yeah.
Across the world.
But it even crossed over to the white side of things, which was a very hard thing to do back then.
For me, that's part of the reason why I first listened and loved hip hop, because it was the positivity element. I know it kind of strayed, yeah, and we still listen to it when it strayed, yeah, when it went to the West Coast and you started hearing about
Gangster bitch and all that type of
we
stuff.
started hearing about all the gangsters, and blah blah blah. But the part of the reason why, as I said, part of the reason the first time I ever listened to hip hop, it was the positivity.
Parents once said it, innit?
It was like there was a message.
Exactly.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? And as a black man, as a black kid growing up, it was like.
So now, what's the message these days? What the lollipop? What's the next one? What is the next one?
What's the next one? Exactly. Superman, whichever one knows what that means.
What's the message?
You know what that means, innit?
Make money, innit? Get rich or die trying. That's the message now. Shoot me anytime.
Can you blame hip hop for that? Because isn't it just a case of, well, you know, like supply and demand, people don't want it, and they want to give it.
Hip hop's always been a reflection of you, innit, and how you grew up. So, no. Hip hop is just a reflection.
We are basically like vessels that consume stuff. We consume, and that's it. Like we put out really little, which is why, you know, we don't particularly give much back to society in general. Yeah, we consume.
No, but we don't give much back because because the planet is not cooperating with each other. Yeah,
exactly.
To conduct things properly.
Definitely.
Yes, but then therefore we are being conditioned, to behave in a certain way.
Well, I think, to be honest, it's just a difference of opinion. Because you are straight.
We digress, but at the same time it's relevant. So, next question.
Hold on. Let me say that again. Right? Now, a vinyl junkie doesn't necessarily mean I'm a DJ. A vinyl junkie to me is someone who loves music, who lives and dies for music, who grew up listening to music. Their whole life is based around music. Everything they do.
Right.
Every day, me personally, I listen to music every day I wake up.
Right.
Cool. So it's actually got nothing to do with this here, vinyl.
No,
we're just talking about music in general.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Right. So really, in a sense, are you talking about the death of music? I'm not saying music's dying.
Yeah.
But because it will never die. It will never die.
Of course, it won't die.
But it's dying.
But it's the form that it's in, the form that we've all loved. Yeah. That we've grown up listening to. If you think back, like Michael Jackson, all Soul to Soul, Alexander O'Neal.
Temptation.
Can go on.